The first data type we will cover is the string data type. Strings of text go inside quotation marks and are very versatile in how they are used in the context of a program. In this first code example, a file called 111str, we see two variables with strings, one containing a first name and one containing a last name. Before getting more into strings, let's go through a basic programming tenet: variables. A variable is a container that stores a value, like a string of text, a number, or other data types. I have two such variables on lines 1 and 2. First underscore name and last underscore name. Variable names can contain letters, numbers, and underscores, but not symbols. They cannot contain spaces. If you have any experience with C# or Java or JavaScript, you may have seen variables using camel case, which makes the first word lowercase and all subsequent words start with a capital letter. You can use camel casing in Python, but the standard naming convention in Python is to use all lowercase characters with underscores replacing spaces. I want to output this as a full name. So on line 3, I will type print, open parenthesis, last name, plus a comma and space in quotes, plus first name, close parenthesis. A print statement creates output. Within that print statement, any literal text, like the comma and space we see here, must be inside quotation marks. Let's run this code in a terminal to ensure it works. I will select the Run Python File icon, and below, on the Terminal tab, we will see the result: my last name, comma, and first name. Though not on the exam, one question when learning a programming language is, do we use single quotes around text strings or double quotes? Double quotes work. But what if I change the quotes inside the print statement to single quotes? I will rerun this code, and it works. This output speaks to Python's versatility, where we can use single or double quotes, but not curly quotes, as is often the case with quotes pasted from Word. So be aware of that possible issue. You may be wondering when the quotes used matter then. Let me show you an example of when it does matter. I will skip a line and add this print statement to line 5. Print Jason's turn, in parentheses, and quotes, and then attempt to run this code. Notice that we get an error message. Why? Because Python thinks we have an opening quote here with no closing quote, which will generate an error message. But if I change the quotes here to double quotes, this runs again, because now the single quote is ignoring these double quotes. The next two data types are numeric data types. The first data type, integer, often abbreviated as int, is a data type that represents whole numbers, numbers without decimals. In this 112 numbers file, we see a variable that we could use in a game, number of tries. And it is set to 3, which is a whole number. Thus, this variable is an integer. Sometimes you may need to verify a suspected data type, as numbers represented as strings cannot be used in calculations. I will add on line 4 a print statement to print the type of the number of tries variable. The type function reveals the data type of whatever is in parentheses after the type function. Thus, I will type print type number of tries, and then select Run Python File to run this code. In the terminal, we see that the value is indeed an integer. Occasionally, you may need to convert a number that is represented as a string to an integer to use that number in a calculation. We will see how to do string-to-number conversions in the topic on data type conversions elsewhere in this course. Whereas integers are whole numbers, floating numbers, often referred to as shorts, are numbers with decimals. In the code example here, 113 numbers, the multiplier variable on line 2 is a float data type, as it contains a decimal point. Identifying integers versus floating decimals is easy, as all we look for is a decimal point. One facet of any programming language to know to get accurate calculations is whether performing arithmetic with an integer and a float returns a float or an integer. On line 4, I will add a print statement to add these two variables. I will type print, and then within parentheses, number of tries plus multiplier. And then I will run the code. We get a float. Next, I will change the operator to multiplication. We still get a float. The real test is division. I will change the operator to division and rerun this code. Even though 3 divided by 1.5 returns a whole number, 2, it still represents a float. What we have seen adds to the notion that Python is a very user-friendly language, as many older programming languages return integers when using an integer and a float in a calculation. When building games in Python or any other language, when using numbers, take a moment to determine whether you need numbers to be integers or floats. For games with scores, integers are likely. But for games involving money, you probably need floats. The final data type we will cover for now is the bool data type, short for Boolean. Boolean values are either true or false, or in binary terms, 1 or 0. I have a code example, 114 Boolean, that shows a Boolean variable on line 1, char_life, which is set to true. Part of learning a programming language is learning the nuances of its syntax. In most programming languages, the words true and false represent Boolean values. Notice that the true and false values on lines 1 and 3 are title cased, meaning they start with capital letters. Python is case sensitive in many spots, including this one. It is important to learn these characteristics to use the correct casing for Boolean variables and avoid errors when trying to run code containing them. To see the results of this code, which returns a value based on the status of a character's life for a game, I will run the code, and the code works, showing that I am still in the game. However, it fails if I change true to lowercase true and try to rerun this code. We do see a message asking us if we meant to use the title-cased version of the word, true at least. To finish this unit on data types and operators, I will switch to this file, 114 analyze. And here we have 5 print statements that display types for various pieces of data. Go to your workbook and do the Review 1.1 project to identify the data types of each piece of data as a string, integer, float, or Boolean. In the next video, we will reveal and discuss the answers to the workbook project. Let's see how we did in figuring out the data types for each of these statements. I will run this code, and we will see each data type listed in the terminal window. The first statement is a string, as the data is in quotes. The second statement is a bool, short for Boolean, as the word true with a capital T is the value. And we just covered how true and false with title cases represent booleans. The third statement is a string, even though we see a number here. Why? Because it is in quotes. The fourth statement is a float with a decimal. And the fifth statement is an integer, as it is a whole number and not in quotes.